Hey guys, this is Tom, your neighborhood butcher. Today we're going to talk about the chuck roast and all the different things that you can make off the chuck roast. We'll talk a little bit about cooking times, and we'll talk about different cooking techniques for the chuck roast. Um, Different ways you can saute the meat, and different ways you can make ribs, different ways you can do different things to it. We're going to go over all that today. My name's Tom. I have almost 30 years of retail butcher experience, and I'd like to share a little of that experience with you by talking about the chuck. All right, let's get into this. The chuck roast is by far my absolute favorite piece of meat. It is the tastiest roast that you're going to cook because of the nice loose grain and the amount of fat that's marbled through the whole piece of meat. Just makes for a juicy, flavorful piece of meat. Now, chuck, unlike, say, sirloin or round, even New York strip, short loin, T-bone, those sorts of things, has a different taste to it. To me, chuck has a little different taste to it than, say, your rounds, eye round, top round, bottom round, or even your sirloins. I think sirloin and round have kind of specific flavors to them, and then chuck has its own kind of specific flavor to it. Chuck is an amazing piece of meat. Um, you can make chuck steaks off of it. You could, get the front part of the chuck that's closest to the ribeye. You can take the underblade ribs off of the chuck and come up with the chuck eye, which the chuck eye is a phenomenal steak for grilling. Um, you have about 3 to 4 inches off the front of your chuck, which basically leads right into your ribeye steak if you follow the backbone down the cow. That is very tender and makes an amazing chuck steak or chuck eye steak. When you're going to buy this steak, or this roast, I should say, on sale at the grocery store, it's going to be one of the uglier roasts. But once you see where that chuck eye is and identify what the chuck eye looks like, um, you will soon realize, which ones to pick out to get the best chuck eye steaks from. Um, these chuck eye steaks will melt in your mouth and impress everybody you cook them for because they are basically a ribeye, a nice fatty ribeye with lots of juiciness and grand taste, in my opinion. Um, what's cool about the top blade of the chuck, which is it's just a super solid piece of meat. This piece of meat can be made into stew meat, chop suey, and stir fry. So there's a lot of different things you can do with that piece of meat as well. So when you find chuck roasts on sale at your local grocery store, if you get a good price on them, don't be afraid to buy that piece of meat and then take that piece of meat apart and use it for different things. Um, because it is a great, great piece of meat that can be done in so many different ways. Like I said, the stir fry, the chop suey, or the stew meat. You could do classic stew. You could do classic stir fry, sautéed vegetables. Put it over rice, sweet and sour. Same with the chop suey. You could do the same thing, sweet and sour. You could do a hot and spicy version of it too. The chop suey can also be, put into taco shells and used as taco meat. Just diced up real fine and then sautéed. But what you can also do is just slow cook the chuck roast. What's neat about the chuck roast, I always break down muscles in cooking time, and chuck roast is about a 4 hour to 8 hour slow cooking roast. After 4 hours, it's going to be nice and tender, but after 8 hours, that thing is literally, you're hardly going to be able to even scoop it up out of the crock pot because it's literally going to be falling apart, every time you try to shove a fork in it. So that's one really neat thing, and you can just shred it up. And then you can season it as taco meat. And that's where you get your shredded beef tacos from, or shredded beef burritos, or a whole host of things. Shredded barbecue beef can be made out of the chuck roast. It's just an amazingly diverse piece of meat. And then don't forget about just thin cutting that piece of meat. Go to your local butcher. Sometimes it's a little bit more money to try to get um, thin cuts of the chuck or chuck steak. And that thin cut chuck steak can be turned into your classic carne asada. Carne asada is a staple, for making tacos, for doing all kinds of different things with. And that's just just a different way of spicing your meat, more of a Mexican style of spicing your meat. Lime, orange juice, cilantro, maybe a little alcohol of your choice, some Modelo or some sort of beer, that would really give that carne asada a nice flavor to it. It's just a very fresh flavor, that you can put over pastas and rices and potatoes and just a whole host of other things, as well as tacos and burritos as well, or making street tacos out of it. Chuck is just a beautiful piece of meat, and I can't say enough about it. If anybody ever comes to me when I'm at work at the butcher shop and asks me what's the best roast, I always have to go to the chuck roast, because to me it's the most diverse piece of meat that you're going to find in the chuck line. Going from your chuck roast to your cross rib roast, to your bottom round roast, to your top round roast, your eye round roast, your sirloin tip roast, your top sirloin roast, or your prime rib roast, or even your tenderloin roast. So it's, to me, out of all those roasts, it is the most diverse piece of meat. That, God, I mean, there's just so many different things that you can make out of that piece of meat. So when you're in your grocery store and you see a good sale on chuck roasts, man, grab one of those pieces of meat up and go home and really look up some good recipes, because you are going to impress your family with a chuck roast, and or chuck eye steaks, or chuck steaks, or carne asada, or chop suey, or stir fry, or beef stew. Just a beautiful piece of meat. All right, guys. Hey, thanks for spending some time with your local butcher. Have a great day, and bye now. I also want to talk about just a little misconception. So whenever you get meat, it has myoglobin in the muscle, and the myoglobin stores oxygen in that piece of meat. Well, as you take the oxygen away, like when you cryovac your meat, or put it in a Ziploc and really take all the oxygen, out of that meat you possibly can. Or there's another piece of meat sitting on top of that piece of meat for a long period of time. It's called deoxymyoglobin. And that's when basically there's no oxygen in the myoglobin. When meat oxidizes, it's called metmyoglobin. And that's when your meat turns brown. After several days exposed to air, the iron atom myoglobin oxidizes and loses its ability to bind oxygen, so that it loses that red color. Just a little tidbit, even if you take that meat home, and say you buy a pack of value pack chuck steaks, and they're shingled in the package, and the edge of that chuck steak is sitting on the other chuck steak above it. Well, when you pull that chuck steak up, there's going to be a brown spot there. That is not bad. Remember, your nose knows best. You always want to smell the meat. And if it has a bad odor to it, well, most likely, it's aged too far. But when you find that meat on meat, you see it's within date, and the rest of the meat is nice and red, then that brown spot, then you're dealing with that deoxymyoglobin. So Remember, if meat's sitting on top of meat, no big deal as long as everything else is red and it smells good. If you buy a piece of meat that's really brown, again, your nose knows best. Smell and make sure that meat smells fresh. If it's brown and it still smells fresh, well then you're good to go. All right, just a little tidbit from Tom, your local neighborhood butcher. Bye now.